World, welcome to Americana. I'm your host, Willie Montague.
And I'm Shakea Hinton.
All right, on this show, we don't dodge tough topics. We run straight at them. No agendas, no fear, just truth and real conversation. Strap in, because the easy answer's in right now. This is Americana. All right, you guys, as I told you, we got some truth coming up. So today we're going to be talking about politicians are not listening, America's breaking point with Washington, and that is D.C. And then we're going to be talking about the CDC, vaccine, and autism, and then skilled immigrants, MAGA or betrayal. Now, this is going to be interesting. And then service members and the oath. This is what we are bringing home today. So without further ado, Shakea, you and I are getting ready to get into this. Let's talk about these politicians. Stephen A. Smith called Washington for ignoring everyday Americans, and an air traffic control stood up and said exactly what millions feel. This viral moment wasn't politics, it was a warning. Now, this is exactly what the man said. I want us to be clear. He said, "I've got to drive Uber. I work one of the highest stress jobs in America and still can't get ahead." So I actually want this to be a conversation.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, we can do it. You know, this was, when I was listening to the interview, it was alarming to me because we do have an issue. And I like what Stephen A. Smith, for those, go back and listen to the interview. What he was saying is that both sides have to give some accountability to what's going on right now in the United States. And when you hear of air traffic control, a stressful place, probably one that is a little more paying than most people would get paid, but for him to have to leave out of that town hall and then end up going to drive Uber, what's happening in America?
What is happening in America, Will, is what I have been screaming at you for months now. Not necessarily screaming, but what we've been talking about for months. The economy is not in the best shape that many people feel in your party. I think it's now getting the attention, air traffic controllers who considerably have a high salary, they're feeling it now because it's impacting everybody, whether race, religion, creed, you know, all of the things. And so it's impacting every status of our society. So it doesn't surprise me that he is now standing up, he's attending a town hall. Folks really want answers and they want relief and they want it now. Yeah,
and I like how she said my part. But look,
Claim
this
it.
is supposed to be a conversation.
We are.
I'm trying to, before we get heated up. But I would say that in that time, though, it's like I personally feel like it's just been a decline. And the reason why I really want to talk about this, because I know people out there watching is often looking for solutions. And that's the part where, as you mentioned yesterday, that us having two different party views is like, it is time to actually come and say, what is the solution when you talk about things like this? And I like that Stephen Smith, who is not necessarily a political person, like
He's controversial.
He's controversial.
But he isn't political.
He's not political. So for him to dive in and just say, listen, both of y'all sides are just crazy. You're not helping the American people. And that you know, when I watched that, I was like, okay, we just got to have this conversation.
Now, do you think, aside from a party affiliation, whether it's Democrat or Republican, like, do you think it's a systemic thing, or do you think it's now because inflation is on the rise, healthcare is an issue? Like, why now? Because this has been a concern for many people for many years. Why do you think now is like all hell is breaking loose?
That's a good question. I think now is because we are a super sensitive society. I think we take more things at heart, and then we see more things that cause us to take it at heart. Because we didn't have all this social media that we have now. Everything is publicized. Like, you know, if somebody sneezes, they put it on TMZ. it's like,
Well.
yeah, like, it's like everything is exposed. So
Yeah.
people now are like in fear because they see fear, they hear fear, they go to work, it's a new disease, a new variant, a new, the shutdown, we can't get food, we can't this. So everything is like scarcity, fight or fight, fight or flight.
Yeah.
And this is where I think we are. So I think that's why it's like now more, hands-on or seeing it more face-to-face is because now it's more in our face.
Yeah.
So that's why I would think with that.
Now, who do you think would create the change? Is it the everyday people or is it the politicians?
I think it's the everyday people that need to be the politicians.
But when the everyday people become politicians, they are now on the other side of this. So how do we?
I just don't think we need people who are woke. And I know you don't like me saying that.
We've been doing really well.
We have been doing good, but I just think we just don't need, because there is two. I just don't think we need people that is polarizing on any side. I think we need people that can say, this is the issue and we need to go. And that may never happen because we are a people of emotions and we're vanity nation. So people like to be vain because it makes them go to the forefront. But I think that's the only way to solve it. But that's how it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think we have to get back there. So let's talk about the CDC, vaccine, and autism. Flu season is upon us, and some Americans are skeptical about getting their shots in this year. Okay. I did see the CDC roll back and said that vaccines actually, they could not find it not linking to autism. So that's huge.
It is huge. And autism has, in recent years, become not necessarily a fad, but more talked about. It's more visible, it's more accepted, right? I have a son who is high-functioning autistic, meaning he isn't on the spectrum where it's behavioral, it's more of how he communicates and interacts with people, right? JFK, who I am just actually shocked that he was appointed to be the Secretary of HHS, is one of the reasons why the topic of vaccines has been so skeptical. I think that is the reason why we see a decline in people getting their flu shots this year. The man says that measles, do you know what he says about measles?
Go ahead, I know you're going to tell us. Look,
well, I won't get on a tangent completely about that. It's just, I am shocked that someone of his caliber is in a position who is the highest ranking health official that would cause doubt amongst other medical professions, medical organizations. They even say that he is the worst person for this position. Why do you think he was elected? Not even elected. Why do you think he was appointed to this role?
Yeah, people may not like him, but I think what he's doing is exposing some of the bull crap that we've seen in the CDC. The CDC is the reason why we walked around. I believe they're the reason why we had many family members that lost their lives during the pandemic because they were following behind people like Joe Biden. Well,
actually, the reason why a lot of people lost their lives during the pandemic is because Donald J. Trump.
It was not Donald J. Trump.
Put a lot of misinformation and disinformation.
She's back.
Here I am. He has put both mis and disinformation into the American public about wearing masks and the idea of vaccines. Now, I will say, I received my 2 shots. I think I had 5 Pfizer, something like that. My second shot, after that, probably like 2 months later, I had a TIA. TIA is just short for a mini stroke. I was healthy as an ox. I had just given birth to my daughter. 4 months later, I have a TIA out of nowhere. Can I link that to the COVID vaccine? I don't know. I have no idea. However, I know that shortly after, I experienced symptoms of a mini stroke.
I think it is linked to the two. But I would say, we know, Shakea, that masks did not work. We knew they didn't work.
Well, what other solution would you cause or have people to do? Because
immune system. What do we do when we had our children go out and play in the dirt and we didn't never go tell them, hey, I want you to go put a mask on your feet so germs don't get on them.
We did have vaccines. That was a part of our childhood in order for us to get into schools, was it not?
Right, but I wish that but look at the vaccines they have now though. I think it's way in like double digits of the vaccines compared to the 6 or 7 vaccines we had to get when we were a child. And I think it's just we're over vaccinating our children. Like, we have an immune system. We have an ability. What were they doing back when society was formed? They wasn't shooting vaccines up in these kids, and you were not seeing kids out there rolling around with all these different diseases. I believe they create this stuff, whether it is in China, and then they roll this stuff over here, and then they poison us, and then we fall victim for the stuff, and then we want the taxpayer dollars to fund us to keep our people sick.
But do you want to know something really quickly? Because I know we have to carry on.
You ordered today.
I just read something recently about there being research being conducted in California to insert vaccines into food, currently in tomatoes and in heads of lettuce.
Well, look what you're talking about. When you have
now, if we have that, if that passes, what will that do for the American people against their will?
That's good. We do have to take a quick commercial break. You know, Governor Newsom is in California. So anyway, we'll be right back discussing skilled immigrants, MAGA betrayal, and service members in the oath. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Americana. All right, you guys, welcome back to Americana. Skilled immigrants, MAGA or betrayal. Donald Trump has declared that allowing skilled immigrants to train in the U.S. workers is MAGA, marking a dramatic shift in his immigration narrative. Shakea, I told you, President Trump is a great man.
Oh, God.
And here he is right here showing you that he's saying we need these skilled workers. We don't need the bums and the traffickers, but we need skilled workers in here to do these things.
Do you not see this as a medical condition? Do you not? I think they call this schizophrenia or either bipolar 1, 2. I have no idea. But just over the weekend, he ordered for ICE to raid Charlotte, North Carolina. He was in Chicago wreaking havoc. He was in California. Like, he's going across the entire nation, rounding up immigrants. Now he's saying what? He wants immigrants to train. Well, he just went on an interview last week telling a reporter that there aren't any educated or skilled people in the United States. He literally said that to a reporter on tape.
So let me say this. You and I are both sitting right here. We're on national TV.
Yes.
You know sometimes that we say things that we
now,
talking
I have
so fast.
No.
And we don't.
But that is true.
I got your back.
However, we come back and correct ourselves.
Right. Well,
we have accountability.
Well,
the President of the United States does not have accountability.
That's true, but to that degree.
I am proud to hear you say
to
that's
that
true.
degree, but we know that he's not going to come back and do that.
So why do you think he wants the immigrants now to train U.S. workers?
Well, you know, that was something that Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about when she finally turned also and was saying, hey.
Which I'm also looking at with a side eye, like, I don't know.
At the end of the day, we do have these immigrants who are here that are working in places that most of the Americans do not want to work. So
well, we've been
farmers,
absolutely. But we've been saying that from the very beginning. So, like, why the change of heart? This is what makes me, as a Democrat, very skeptical about trusting anything that Trump and the administration does. That was a part of Project 2025 to remove illegal aliens, but a lot of the people that they have removed, and I have to say, some have been illegal, but others were in the process of actually becoming citizens or had their green card. So why now?
I think it looks like this. If you come in and you see a world upside down, we have not done nothing with immigration whatsoever, and you had a last administration that would literally love for us to continue to open the borders. I think he said, let's go ahead, let's put the hammer down, and then let's go back and then fix it. Because that's something I would actually do, to be honest. I would come in strong, Sagittarius. I would come in strong, and I would be like, okay, let's just wipe this thing clean.
But that's not always the best approach, Will.
It is not, but look how long we've been suffering with illegals.
Understood. But now we have families who are already displaced. He's sent people to other countries, back to their home countries or to different places, and now he's retracting that? The damage has already been done, so how do we rectify that? Well, he wants them to train the U.S. workers. So once they're done training the U.S. workers, then what?
I mean, I have to say this, and y'all probably not gonna like this, but eventually you just have to get over and move forward.
Get over what?
Get over if you
the child that misses their mom who was just deported back to Venezuela, or the father who saw his wife ripped from his arms as he's crying and pleading for the ICE officers to not. You want them to get over that?
Shakea, we all have lifetime stories, but the thing at the end of the day,
this is somebody's lived experience and trauma.
It is.
And you want them to just completely get over.
I have lived experiences in trauma, but at the end of the day, there's a part of it where we have a United States of America with millions of people here, not just because what we do is we'll take a 1% of a group and we'll shine so much spotlight on that and make it like it's happening every single place, every day, one and two people.
I want you to remember this, and we need to play this back.
Hit it.
Whenever we talk about trans people, you make it seem like it's widespread.
Oh my God, it is.
When we talk about the LGBTQIA
it is
community,
a widespread
it's
infection.
so widespread.
I am tired
I want us to
chopping
pin
their
this
penises off
conversation
and going around here wanting to grow out
for Will.
titties.
The hypocrisy is just astounding.
Women's bathrooms and do
just astounding.
That. And then women cutting off their vagina lips because they want to be a man. I'm sick of it.
Oh, I love when y'all get so
anyway,
sexual.
Well, you took me there.
You just get so sexual. Look at you. Y'all so nasty.
Woo, have mercy,
But
Lord.
going back to these immigrants, I am just really curious to see how this is going to play out. Damage has been done. Like, incomprehensible damage has been done. Trauma has been implanted into children, into families. Now you are going to say they can stay here unless they train American workers. What does this training program look like?
So let me say it like this. Since we're already giving away everything free in Medicaid, go get a therapist with the free service we go. So moving on to the next topic, service members and the
You didn't see your therapist
service members are told not to follow illegal orders. So
Boy.
I'm laughing at her last name. So is it illegal for service members to disobey the request of the President of the United States?
It is, and I'm going to read something really quickly.
Oh, she got some.
So the oath says really quickly, I, your name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. That is the oath that all servicemen and women take when they enter and enlist into the military. The issue now is that 6 Democrats have recently made a video encouraging or reminding those current servicemen to remember your oath, but only do so if he is giving you orders that are lawful. My question to you is, if someone is giving you a directive that goes against your morals and that could actually cause harm to this country, would you still obey those orders?
I'm going to tell this strongly. This is why I tell people to not join the military. Because
I am shocked.
Once you go into the military, you become the property of the United States government. And if they give you an order, it doesn't matter who's the president or what they say, you have to obey that.
So you serve the office, not the person.
I'm just telling you. I've met people who said they've had to serve Democrats and Republican presidents, and they said, unfortunately, they did not like some of the things they had them do, but because they were serving that office, they had to do it.
So does ICE fall underneath that?
I would say the president is directing them. I don't have no problem with ICE. I'll call ICE in a heartbeat. You mess with me the wrong way. But anyway,
Help me.
But y'all calm down. I already had a little hate comment last night, and I said, y'all climbed up the wrong
please,
tree.
y'all don't get him round up.
But anyway, nonetheless, y'all don't have to show up to my house because you'll be shot.
Okay, we're going to carry on.
Go ahead, carry
But speaking of being shot, though, so now the response from Donald Trump is he is calling for those 6 Congress folks, because it's both men and women, to be hanged. He went on to Truth Social and tweeted, hang them. George Washington would have done it.
Because it's treason.
It's treason, right? Mm-hmm. But to the 6 Democrats' point, if he is asking them to do something that is unlawful, does it still give them the right to either carry that out or defy it and then reap the consequences of that?
But who is it unlawful to?
This country is causing harm.
But see, this is the thing. This country is living under the morals and the law, whether it's legal or illegal, based off of a perception of a thing. Because what I consider to be lawful may not, or unlawful may not be unlawful to you. See, to you, you may feel like it's okay to protect transgenders.
Willie,
to me, that's unlawful.
No, because it's unlawful to you because of your morality, your moral compass.
But
however, their gender identity, their sexual orientation has constitutional boundaries and protections.
And you just read what the oath was that falls under constitutional boundaries, and that is to follow what the President of the United States says.
But I am asking you now, because we all know Trump sometimes is off his medication and he goes onto Twitter or X and he does a rant. Like now, he is actually inciting violence by telling folks to hang, that they should be hung.
She using
because
the
George Washington would have done it. So now, that is a dog whistle for people who follow and kiss the ground that Trump walks on. So what happens if these 6 Democrats end up being harmed? We've seen that before. Trump does like a small little dog whistle, and his cronies actually causes harm to Democrat.
Well, I would say this.
Congress.
I would say this. It pays for them to stay in their place and do as they need to be done.
Stay in their place and do as they are told.
Because this is the problem that we have. We have
definition of a cult.
We have people who are in Congress who wants to just parade around as circus clowns and not do their jobs.
The Republican Party, got it.
No,
so we can actually go ahead and go on to.
All right, okay, y'all. So this concludes today's episode of Americana. I'm your host, Willie, Montague.
And I'm Shakea Hinton.
We appreciate you standing in with us, with truth with us today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, only on AFRO TV. Until then, stay focused, please. Stay fearless, please. And keep your voice strong. And
stay black.
y'all have a good night.
Good night, guys.